within the programs and how you physically train them, what are some differences that you do between different sports, and what then becomes important? Again, you've just touched on the fact that it has to align with the head coach, but then how do you transfer that into their physical programs?
Yeah, you've got to have some baseline of assessments, which we do here. We have a sports science department that gives us a ton of data. That is important. I think even more important is what I'm seeing in performance is we're getting these kids, some of these kids are older that come in with you know, a litany of issues. And so you need to, back early on, I used to cookie cutter a lot of my programs, but now it's getting to, I mean, it's becoming more and more like a pro sport where if you've got a kid that's got, if I'm working with volleyball and they've got a history of knee tendinopathy, well, yeah, well, let's do some testing on them, but like, where are the asymmetries? What can I do different in the weight room that's not going to create a greater risk of injury, but mitigate that, right? I may never get rid of that tendinopathy, but I can manage it so that they can play volleyball or whatever sport they're playing at a high level. So it may change, we may want to do certain exercises, but I may change the variations depending on the position, the injury history, the player load we're seeing on court, how much the coaches use them or not using them, depending on how they respond to stressors, right? So I may change variations and intensities and duration based off each individual. So everybody may be squatting, but it may be an ISO, it may be a split squat, it may be a single leg squat, based off what we're seeing with that individual. So again, it just depends on each individual and how much time I have with them and kind of their role on the team. So again, it's very, very fluid, is what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying. There's no, we're going to do it one way. The simplicity, the way I like to say it now too, coach, is like I used to take athletes and like force them into like my program. Like,
Mm.
man, you got to do this, and this is the right way, this is the only way. But now I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Where's the athlete? Where's some gaps that I can shore up and weaknesses? Where's some things some exercises I can add in there to get some adaptations to help them just be a little bit better and be more resilient, more robust, so the coach is happy. So I think for me, it's a little bit more collaborative now.
Mm.
So you're talking to the staff, coaches, you're talking to sports med and sports science, and then you're looking at kind of what that athlete may be accustomed to doing and what they're comfortable with. I get guys from Europe all the time that they like to train a certain way. I'm good with that, but let's just build it into the system of style of training this head coach likes for this team,
Mm.
and let's move forward. So again, it's a very fluid, very collaborative, adaptive approach versus like full autonomy.
So again, Team Builder is a sponsor of this podcast, but this is one of the reasons why I love Team Builder. And I used Team Builder when I was at UW with Coach Mac. And it's the ability to write a program for the whole team and then go in individually and change each athlete's program depending
Right.
on that. And I think that's something that they do a really good job at. It's having the accessibility to adapt your programs depending on who you have in.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's a need. It's so. I mean, we're already getting there. Like you can see where athletes maybe they're really fatigued right now and they need more velocity based,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe their strength has dropped off the last few weeks, and you can get the feedback on that and change the cycle for strength to kind of repolish some of those qualities that have diminished. So you're just getting a lot. The data is allowing us to see kind of like, okay, we're a little off course right now, and we can make these real subtle adjustments, interventions to get us back on course. And so that's just kind of the landscape and where we're at. I mean, fluid periodization, I think I've heard coaches say that like traditional block periodization is dead. I wouldn't say it's all the way dead, but I would say in this economy we in with performance and data and testing and just uncertainty, the fluid periodization model is definitely alive and well.